You sure you've got nothing for this here disease I have in my head, Doc?
You've got quite a hangover, Randy.
I figured it was at least one of them brain diseases.
Well, it is in a way. If you had more brains, you'd drink less of O'Shea's whiskey.
Huh?
What's this I heard about a crazy bet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I gave my note for $1,000. You know, I can't even believe it myself this morning.
What's the bet about?
That I can get up a baseball game in Frenchman's Ford by Saturday. It ain't no laughing matter, Doc. Terms of the bet was it's got to be right, proper game, played regular by the rules.
Well, seriously, you're not going to go through with this, right?
I gave my hand on it, Doc. I ain't never welched on no bet in my life.
Yeah, but Randy, what do these cowpunchers around here know about baseball?
A couple of the hands out at the Bar A were in the 1st Ohio Volunteers during the war between the states. They played a little. I reckon I can dig up enough fellers who'll go through the motions on a Saturday for a couple of dollars apiece.
Well, I sure want to see that game.
Doc, you ever play baseball?
Me? No. Now, don't get any ideas, Randy. I'm strictly a spectator. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
At 1:30, Harvey came in to see Doc.
I'm sorry to trouble you, Doctor, but I wondered if in your collection of materia medica you perhaps might have an ancient Indian herb that would act as a specific for me?
You got a hangover, too, Mr. Braithwaite.
Oh, I'm afraid so. Can't understand it. At the college, I used to spend the whole evening downing Flip at the tavern and then be up at dawn for compulsory chapel.
Well, don't worry about it, Mr. Braithwaite. Just remember, Princeton Flip is not made with O'Shea's whiskey. Incidentally, you're not going through with that crazy bet you made with Randy Stewart.
Oh, yes, the wager. Well, we shook hands on it, and I put up my pledge.
Yeah, but, well, it's so foolish. Surely an educated man like you...
My dear Doctor, at Princeton, I have seen several $1,000s change hands over which plate of molasses would catch the most houseflies at a given time.
But, Mr. Braithwaite...
I have accepted a wager as a true son of old Nassau, and I shall not flunk the test.
Friday afternoon, Randy Stewart was desperate. He had ridden out past the Three Forks country, following a rumor that the homesteader on the Rio Verde had once played second base for an artillery battery of the 4th Vermont Regiment. I saw him when he rode in at night and asked him how it turned out.
Oh, he played second base, all right.
Oh.
Played second base fiddle in a Colonel Symphonic Band.
Oh.
He offered to come in and play a couple of polkas.
Well, Randy, how are you doing on your teams anyway?
Well, I got Alfie Jones and a couple of his boys from the Flying J.
Mm-hmm.
And Matty Wheelwright from the livery stable. He's a catcher. I got to round up about 5 head of outfielders. Only I'll be doggone if I know where to lay my rope on a single shortstop.
The day of the big game dawned crisp and clear. O'Shea donated a barrel of beer at the sidelines, and Mr. Braithwaite marked out a baseball diamond in the big corral back of the livery stable at the edge of town. At 2 o'clock, the teams were assembled, and Mr. Braithwaite, in a straw booter and blue pongee jacket, stepped up onto the field as the umpire. He picked his way carefully to home plate, as the livery horses had only been removed from the corral that morning.
Here you are, Mr. Braithwaite. Here's the 2 lineups. They ain't spelled very good, but they're all here.
Very well. What are the names of your two teams, Mr. Stewart?
Well, we kind of call them the Pintos and the Wranglers.
I see. Each team will have 5 minutes to acquaint itself with the playing area, and then I will announce play ball.
There's one thing, though. Alvin Murtaugh won't play unless he can carry his gun. You see, he says he ain't had it off since he was 12, and he'd just as soon leave his pants off as his gun.
Well, it's irregular, but I suppose autre temps, autre meur.
Yes. Where did you learn how to speak Cheyenne?
Look at that babbler. Milt Evers trying to pick up a ball up off the ground. Went right through his leg.
I am not surprised, Doc. Milt has been on a horse consistently since he was 7 years old. You do, Doctor, out to witness the match?
Yeah, I thought I'd take it in. Never thought I'd live to see a baseball game in Frenchmen Ford.
No, in a way, I am glad to see it. You know, I leave tomorrow to make my report to Father.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Well, I must admit at first, I wasn't very impressed with the people of this territory. I was inclined to give a negative report and suggest that Father put his money in transatlantic shipping instead. But with the spirit that I see in this fine sporting event, I am convinced that the Braithwaite would do very well to take over the cattle industry of the West. Now, if you'll excuse me, gentlemen, I believe it's time to commence the match. Very well, gentlemen. Play ball.
The game started. Although it took 3 batters to convince Slim Gottschall, the pitcher for the Wranglers, that the object was not to hit the batter in the head with the ball. As a matter of fact, between O'Shea's beer and the light, pleasant breeze, the game went on in a happy fashion until the 7th inning. The batter was Alvin Murtaugh. He strode up to the plate, swinging the bat that old man Pop had sawed down from the whiffle tree.
All right now, Slim. You throw that dang ball in here where I can hit
And
it.
no wrangling, please, gentlemen. Baseball's a genteel game devoted to good sportsmen.
Yeah, sure, I know. All right, come on now. Throw that ball in here. Are you low-down, lily-livered, knock-eared son of a
Please,
bitch?
gentlemen.
He'd like to kill me with that dang thing. I'm warning you, Slim. You throw that ball at me one
Please, gentlemen. Batter up.
Got dust all over my gun. And remember, I'm warning you. Shut up, Alvin, and keep your eye on the ball. Here comes. Oh, that does it. I told you. No. Put that gun away.
It was a free-for-all that would have done justice to the bull run on a Saturday night with an outfit of Texas cowpunchers passing through north to the railhead. Alvin missed Slim Gottschall clean with both shots, later claiming that the bat on his other hand had unbalanced it. Both teams abandoned their contest on the diamond for the more familiar contest of joyous and uninhibited mayhem with which the territory usually entertained itself. O'Shea's barrel of beer was split open over Randy Stewart's head, and Mr. Braithwaite was dragged the length of the corral by a horse breaker from the Three Forks country who was under the influence of O'Shea's whiskey and was convinced they had a tremendous white stallion at the end of his rope. Doc and I saw Mr. Braithwaite once again just before the morning stage left Chisholm City. I hope you're not too much upset, Mr. Braithwaite. It's just that Frenchman's Ford isn't used to baseball.
Yes, I can understand that. Well, needless to say, I intend to advise my father to stay as far away from the West and the cattle industry as he can possibly get.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry you think so badly of us out here. I guess it was a shame to have the game end up in a riot. That must seem pretty strange to you, Princeton man and all.
Oh, no, that wasn't it at all. Why, most of the baseball matches played at Princeton run pretty much the same way, minus gunfire, of course. I remember when old Skeets broke his bat over the umpire's head in the Rutgers match.
But I don't understand. And why are you advising your father not to go into the cattle business?
But, my dear doctor, why, I discovered that Mr. Stewart had paid those men $3 apiece to play in the game.
What's wrong with that?
But that's professionalism, sir. Rank professionalism. I don't mind losing the bet, but you must realize it's hardly a fit place for a gentleman. Oh, no, sir. If sport in general and baseball in particular are to prosper, we'll never do so with a taint of gross professionalism upon it.
Hold up.
Well, good day, gentlemen. At least it was refreshing to meet one university man in this wilderness.
I suppose it was.
This evening, gentlemen, when you down your spirits, remember me and give a toast to the tiger. Goodbye.
And so, the cattle industry, the town of Frenchmen, and the territory had not been taken over by Albert Braithwaite after all. And in honor of that, each Saturday night when the cowpunchers come into town to the Bull Run Saloon, the first drink is always a toast to the tiger.
You have been listening to Dr. Sixgun. Doc Sixgun is played by Carl Weber and Pablo by William Griffith. Today's script was written by Ernest Kenoy. Heard in the cast were Bill Lipton as Harvey, Ken Williams as Randy, Tom Holland as Alvin, and William Keane as O'Shea the bartender. Dr. Sixgun is directed by Fred Way. This is Gene Hamilton speaking.